Those harsh p and b sounds that slam your ears when someone hasn't used a pop filter during recording. They're unpleasant, but they can be dealt with. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to turn this
Pete person
into this.
Pete person.
One free method and one pro method. Let's go. So first, I'm going to show you the free method using Audacity. If you don't have Audacity or you don't have another digital audio workstation that you can use, you can go to audacityteam.org and I'll leave a link in the description going over how to get started with that. But once you've opened up your podcast recording in your digital audio workstation, you need to find those plosives, which you will do during your edit. I've recorded a piece of audio specifically here so that it's really obvious. You can see these spikes in volume where the plosive occurs.
Podcasting amplified. Pete person and
so it's that kind of spike in audio, it's that boost in bass as well that it's causing, and it just sounds really horrible.
Power of podcasting.
By the way, if you want to learn more about the podcast production process so you can edit, mix and master amazing sounding podcast episodes, then grab the free podcast production process cheat sheet at claricast.com/PPP. I'll leave a link in the description. It goes over the setup, the editing, mixing and everything else that you need to know to make your podcast productions the best that they can be. So the first method, again, you can do this on any DAW. You find the plosive, you highlight it. And there are two things that mainly happen when a plosive occurs. Again, it's that increase in bass and in signal. So let's start with the signal or the volume. We can just simply reduce that by highlighting it and using Amplify, or if you have clip gain on your digital audio workstation, then you can use that. And then we're just going to reduce that by a good 8 decibels, -8.
Podcasting amplified. Podcasting.
So it's already sounding a lot less harsh, sorry. You can hear that there's a plosive there because it's still all kind of bassy and woofy, but
to podcast,
it's not nearly so harsh already.
To podcasting.
But then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to reduce some of the bass. Now, I don't want to affect the whole word, so I'm really just going to grab that plosive and then open up an EQ. And then we're going to just get rid of all that low end under about 200 decibels. We can probably go to 12. Let's try that first.
You're listening to Podcasting Amplified.
And it is almost gone. You can hear a slight sort of airiness to it, but it's lost all that harshness.
You're listening to Podcasting Amplified.
I really just want to be affecting that plosive though, because we don't want to remove the bass to the whole thing. Let's try it with one of these ones.
Pete person.
On Audacity, you can just press Control or Command R to redo the same effect.
Episode, I'm talking to Pete person.
And then we'll do that level reduction as well. So let's hear both of those together actually, because this one's been affected and this one hasn't.
I'm talking to Pete person and we'll be talking about.
So it's actually quite a simple fix as long as you don't have to do this with hundreds of plosives throughout your recording. And now we're going to take a look at a little bit more of a simple way of doing things. This is a paid piece of software, so if you don't have the budget, you can use that other method. But if you do, Isotope RX has a great de-plosive tool. So let's find those really harsh ones again.
Pete person.
And you can just highlight that whole section there. Obviously, we can go a little bit more surgical, but I just want to quickly show you what this sounds like. It's called de-plosive. We don't need to increase the sensitivity too much because it's really obvious where they are. It's going to be able to find those. The strength is, how much it's going to reduce it by, and then the frequency limit. If you don't want it to be reducing sort of the mid-range frequencies as well, just the lower ones, we can leave it around there.
I'm talking to Pete person and we'll be
really effective, really easy. And then we could do it a bit more targeted so we're not affecting the rest of the first word.
I'm talking to Pete person and we'll be talking.
So 2 ways that you can very effectively remove plosives. You may already be aware of this, but just in case you're not, the best way of removing plosives is by not recording them at all. And if you can suggest to your guest, or if it's on your recording, just make sure that you get one of these foam pop filters on the end of your microphone. And if you don't have one, even just pointing the mic slightly lower at your chin so the air doesn't blast straight into the microphone can really help. That wraps up this 5-part How to Fix Podcast audio series. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more podcasting tips and guides. And let me know in the comments section which of these videos you found the most helpful and what podcast you're working on. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.